Hi there, it's Belinda Weaver. It's Friday. It's not 1 p.m., my usual Periscope time. It's actually 2 p.m. So call me a casualty of the daylight saving. Let me just switch this around. Hi. Oh gosh, I've still got my specs on. Hi everyone. Welcome to my usual Periscope. So I'm having these Periscopes on a Friday afternoon, and today, let me just change that. That's a bit better. Today I'm going to be sharing 10 fun facts that you, in brackets, probably don't know about me. And as I go through this list, I would love to know if you agree. These are facts about you that we share. Maybe we have more in common than we think, So I'd love to see some comments or even some hearts where you just go, oh yeah, that's me too. So I'm going to start with my first one. It's that I'm a terrible gardener. I know I'm not alone in this. I really, really try. When we had our own home, I was like, brilliant, I'm going to get my green thumbs out and I'm going to plant all these things, and, I'm going to be like Snow White with the little Sleeping Beauty, and let's deal with the Disney princesses. They have nature coming towards them, and I realized very quickly that that is not me. That is not me at all. As much as I try, I think I kill things with too much kindness. Things being plants, I haven't yet killed the dog or the kid or my husband for that matter with too much kindness. So, give me some hearts if you too are a terrible gardener. I have a peace lily that I've managed to keep alive for 2.5 years, and that's pretty much my record. The second thing you might not know about me is that I'm quite clumsy. Now, you might not know that about me if you've never met me, but as soon as you meet me, it very quickly becomes apparent. People tend to hold things out of reach because I'm talking and I'm gesticulating and I'm having a great time and I'm banging things. And even on these periscopes, you'll probably notice that every now and then, the camera gets a bit wobbly, and that's because I've banged the desk or I've knocked something, or, so very clumsy, and pretty much no sense of direction. I'm not the only one with no sense of direction, right? As far as I'm concerned, every way I face is north. And more often than not in the car, I'm sort of convinced we go left, and my husband goes, no, we're going right. I always have to have the sat nav on basically to get anywhere in any decent time frame. So the third piece of the third fun fact I wanted to share is that I blush a lot. Now, again, if you've met me at all, or you've maybe even watched a Periscope and you've noticed this, you will have picked up on this. I blush when I'm happy, I blush when I'm embarrassed, I blush when I'm surprised, I blush when I meet new people, I blush when I meet old friends. Pretty much this flush of red comes up and then it disappears, and it's getting better and better as I age, but I used to get called Tommy Tomato at school, which was awesome. I really appreciated that. So yeah, I blush a lot. It's why I cannot lie. I'm just a terrible, terrible liar. My body just flames on and gives me away completely. So are there any other blushes on the line here? No. Maybe it's just me. But it looks fab. Pale skin, red hair, big blush. So the next thing I wanted to share is my very first concert, and I'd love to get some comments about what your first concert was, because mine was the Village People. That's right. So picture this: Expo 88. Thanks for the hearts. Expo 88. I was 10 years old. I'd been listening to the Village People on vinyl for long enough that I actually knew a lot of the songs and a lot of the words, and the Village People were playing at Expo 88, and we had season tickets to Expo 88 because we were in Brisbane. YMCA, Robbie says, you spot on, just best songs ever. And especially as a kid, you don't look into maybe the gender politics of the fabulousness of the Village People. So we're at Expo 88. I'm very excited about this, and my tiny mind was blown. It was just the freaking best night of my little life, until my friend Cheryl Felberg needed to go to the toilet. So we missed the last maybe 4 songs because Cheryl needed to go to the toilet. And I don't think we stayed friends very long after that. I was I was a bitter, grumpy, cranky 10-year-old and having to leave that concert before it was done. So that is my first concert. To the people tuning in, share your first concert. Maybe your first album. I was going to say tape, cassette, but maybe some of you aren't as old. Or maybe you're older and you've got a cool vinyl story. But yeah, so that's my first concert. The next thing, and it kind of starts getting a bit, Nikki says, Bryan Adams, 1944. You know, that's got a little bit of cred behind it. Bryan Adams, I'll pay that. Nothing to be ashamed about there. The next thing I want to admit, and it gets a little bit embarrassing here, is that as a teenager, I was part of the Johnny Young Talent School. Now, Robbie says, I had chipmunk punk. Thank you for sharing that, Robbie. You know, we each have things that we loved as a child. So I just admitted I was part of the Johnny Young Talent School. So if you're in Australia, you grew up in Australia, you will know the heritage of the Johnny Young Talent School. If you're somewhere else in the world, I'll just explain a little bit. Johnny Young had a talent show. It was where Danny Minogue started. Tina Arena was on the Johnny Young Talent Time. And it was just basically kids singing and dancing. And most of them either went into oblivion of anonymity or hit the heights, maybe like Danny and Tina Arena. I guess it was kind of like the Mickey Mouse Club a little bit. But anyway, there was dance schools set up all over the country. And I was in the Johnny Young Talent School dance teams. And all through my high school, I used to spend the school holidays dancing and singing in the Brisbane Queen Street Mall. So while my friends were cruising for boys and going to movies and doing fun stuff, I was dressed in lycra and outfits, tap dancing and singing and doing all sorts of other jazz handsy dancing in public. I guess I was kind of embarrassed, but I freaking loved it. So that's how I spent my high school holidays. Nerd! Thank you for the hearts. I don't feel quite so embarrassed. There's that blush response. All right, so that's my first concert that I spent my high school years in Johnny Young Talent School dancing. I actually danced my way all the way to tap qualifications. That's tap dancing as a teacher. I am technically qualified, and that's my next fun fact. I'm technically qualified to teach tap to people. I'm sure the qualifications have run out or something like that because it was many a year ago, but that's actually what I thought I could do as a backup career. Can you imagine? So moving in, talking about career, my next fun fact is I actually started my career in IT. I graduated from uni with a BA, Bachelor in Information Technology. My first job was as a programmer at Suncorp Bank. Yes, that's right. And I wasn't just a nerdy programmer. I was so nerdy that I used to volunteer to do like the midnight runs, changing tapes and doing backups and stuff like that, sitting with all the sysadmin guys who were like properly nerdy as well. Thank you for that heart again. I'm doing some, I'm opening myself up here. A lot of nerdy admissions on this Periscope. And as Robbie just popped up in a comment, thank you, Robbie's helping me out on this Periscope. Do find me on social media and say hi. I'm always up for making new friends and I'm always on social media. So the other great thing about that first IT job was that I met my husband there. That's right. We met at work and we've been together for 15 years now. So, all's well that ends well. The next fun fact I want to reveal is that I actually have several tattoos. Now, you might have noticed these tattoos if you've seen me on social media. I certainly don't hide them, but I've got two on my back. One's a small one and one's a very, very big one. And I've got a small one on my arm, and I also have a very, very big one on my arm. Basically, the tattoos have got bigger the more I have, the longer I have been my own boss. And they will continue. And some people are surprised to see them. Clients have never worried about it. It's just part of the fabric of who I am, right? So that's my next fun fact. And my, number 6 or 9, I think we're up to. Number 9 fun fact is I tap my keyboard really, really hard. I don't have to. This makes no sense for me to do it. I think it's because, thank you for the hearts, maybe I'm not the only one who does this. Maybe because that when I learned to type, it was on a typewriter. I am that old that when I learned to type, it was on a typewriter. But now I have this lovely Surface Pro with this really delicate keyboard and I'm pounding away and I just feel like, oh, me too, I'm not the only one. Do you not feel that you're just getting the ideas out of your head when you have this kind of pounding motion? That's how I think of it anyway. And it's really irritating in cafes. I know it drives my husband bonkers, but there's no sense to it. It's just something I do, and I only stop doing it when I remember to stop doing it. And the final fun fact that I wanted to share with you is that my nickname is Bill. So my name is Belinda Weaver, and since I was about 13 or 14, everyone has called me Bill. My nieces and nephew call me Auntie Bill. My best mates call me Bill. A lot of the people in my business network call me Bill once they get to know me. My kids' friends call me Bill. My husband calls me Bill. Everyone calls me Bill. So if we meet, if you say hi to me on social media, which I hope you will do, please, I hope we're friends now because, I've been sharing all this stuff with you. I was glad to hear that I'm not the only one for some of those points. Because, they're not necessarily things that I shout around. That's why. Oh, Robbie says, I want to hear the Brownie Guide song. Well, that raises a good point. These, if you have been to my website, I'm not going to sing it, by the way. If you have been to the website, copywritematters.com/about, I have a bit of information about me, about my history, what I can offer, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's right. Backstory at copywritematters.com/about. But there is a link on that page with tons of facts that you probably don't know about me. And one of them is that I know all the words to the Brownie Guide song because I was not only a huge Village People fan, I was not only in the Johnny Young Talent School dancing away all school holidays, but I was a brownie and then I was a guide all the way until I was actually old enough to go. So I stayed right until the end. But yes, I'm not going to sing the song because that blush response will probably burn, your eyes too much. So as I said, I hope we're friends now. Are we friends? I would love you to find me on social media. And if some of these fun facts have resonated you and you've thought, she's a cool chick, not as big a nerd as she says, or not, subscribe to my blog. So it's called The Copy Detective. It's on my website, copywritematters.com/blog. When you subscribe to the blog, I have this copywriting cheat sheet, which has 20 incredible copywriting tips that will transform the way you write about your business. So it's great for business owners who write their own copy, and it's great for copywriters too. So I encourage you to subscribe to the blog because you just get a lot of me on the blog. I don't talk about myself. I talk about copywriting. I talk about marketing. I talk about SEO. But it's a nice little community on there, and I would love you to be part of it too. Now, I actually record these Periscopes, so you can also go to Copyright Matters TV on YouTube. Sounds so fancy, doesn't it? You can catch all the Periscopes that I've done, and I do these every Friday at 2 p.m. during daylight savings time. Not 1 p.m., 2 p.m. during daylight savings time. So thanks for the comments. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.